15 times Lando Norris has stood on
Beth.
the podium, but never
Beth.
stepped until now. It's a landmark day.
Beth.
Lando Norris.
The Oscar one.
Way, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up. Hey, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off.
Hi. I can't believe you're wearing that t-shirt.
It's literally 5:05. What else was I meant to do?
Maybe not a t-shirt that says Lando no wins.
No, but it's his win on the back. It says Lando.
Okay, just face the back the entire podcast then. Hello, and welcome back to episode 24 of Lights Out, Let's Talk. We apologise for no podcast last week. Unfortunately, some situations went down, and I didn't want to film. Brooke wasn't available, and Beth didn't want to do a solo podcast. So we apologise for there being no podcast last week. But hey ho, life happens. Anyway, we were racing this week in Miami, party in the city when the heat is on, beach to the break of dawn. Yeah, right. Okay. We had a lot go down. It was a busy weekend. We had a sprint. We had a Lego F1 race. We had an actual race. We had a new world record set. And we're going to get into all of that today. We started off with Media Day, which honestly, I don't remember anything happening. Max Verstappen wasn't there. Why was Max Verstappen not there?
Welcome to the world, Lily Verstappen PK. I don't know if she's a Verstappen PK. I assume
I don't know either.
Max Verstappen had his child. He lost his baby weight. Yeah, that's why he was so fast.
That's why he was so fast. He lost his baby weight. Yes, so congratulations to Kelly and Max on the little arrival of little Baba Lily, which we then got a very odd statement from Christian Horner saying that if the child was a racehorse, she'd be worth millions. I didn't like that statement. I did not like that statement in the slightest.
Yeah, no, it's kind of a mad one from him.
Kind of a mad one from him.
What else do we expect?
What's new?
What is new? What is popping?
But I genuinely don't remember anything from Media Day other than Oscar Piastri learning how to gritty.
That, and we did get all the special helmets, liveries.
Am I the only one that didn't like the pink Mercedes? I didn't vibe with
their
that.
race suits.
I didn't vibe with it. I don't know whether it was like...
They looked
this
like...
is going to sound like I'm targeting, and I don't mean to. It was Kimi specifically. Kimi's helmet didn't match the suit in the slightest.
Yeah,
I know that sometimes the helmets don't match. You know, we've got Lewis with his bright yellow helmet, red of Ferrari. But it was a weird shade of purple, and the suits were like pink, and I was kind of like, that upsets me a little bit. But
it kind of looked like wallpaper, like with the flowers.
Yeah. We also had the disappointment with Lando's helmet, where we had this whole like, look at the shiny disco mirror ball, and then it was like the expectation versus reality, because obviously, because apparently Twitter and TikTok don't understand this, guys, Lando can't race with a helmet covered in real life mirrors. Why? Because it's dangerous. But
he should have wore it.
Even though Lando's holding the helmet saying, this isn't my actual race helmet, people are still like, that's an illegal helmet.
But apparently the one that he did wear was still really shiny, because people were saying when they were watching it go around, it's like reflected.
Well, it was still like a mirrored effect, because there was like, whenever you watched him put it on, you could see like the surrounding garage in it. But it wasn't actual glass, it wasn't actual mirror, it was vinyl, which can still be shiny and reflective, but not enough to blind the drivers.
That would not have ended very well.
That would be so funny though. What a way to win, just blind your opponents.
Maybe he's got to try that next time.
I think I would suggest it.
I'll send McLaren an email.
That's okay. We did also, I have to say, we did have Oscar learning how to gritty, which comes. It's very important to remember this for later. Oscar was taught how to gritty, and he made a bet to say that if he won the race on Sunday, he would gritty at the Parc Fermé boards.
He didn't expect to win. He did not expect to win.
I gagged. Anyway, I think Oscar regrets it more than anyone else. So, but we moved on to FP1, which I didn't watch. So I'm hoping, Beth, you can fill in because your gal's been in the library every day this week studying university guys. What happened in FP1, Beth?
Good question. I don't actually think I want to talk about this because the only thing I remember is certain Oliver Behrman was in the wall. No, I actually can't. I actually can't.
Okay.
That's the only thing that happened. That's the only thing that happened.
Yeah.
It's boring.
I did read the post-race report and I was kind of like, oh, okay. Didn't
No, we did have something else happen. Lando had tools in his car.
Oh my god, yes!
Lando went out, he was like, guys, there's tools in the car. This is falling apart. I was like, oh.
And then whenever he got into the pit lane, he was like, no, why are we going back into the garage? Just take the out of my hand.
Love. I was giggling. What a king.
Bless. And then he did I don't know if you saw the POV, but they pulled him back into the garage and he's still holding them. No one's taking them and he just goes and
so fat. I would do the same. I would do the same.
Yeah. How does that happen? How
do you know
left in the car?
It's McLaren. I don't even question it at this point.
They're testing me this week. They're testing me. We then moved on to sprint qualifying was next. And bro, I was in the library. I booked the worst time to go to the library. I was in the library from 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I missed FP1 and I missed the most of sprint. 2/3 of sprint qualifying. I got the last 14 minutes of sprint qualifying. So I only got to watch SQ3, which was all that mattered to me because guys,
what happened?
We have a new youngest pole sitter in Formula One history with Kimi Antonelli getting pole position for the sprint race on Saturday. Insanity.
That's my reaction. Oh, here we are. Accurate representation of Kimi Antonelli getting pole position.
Beth just sobbing.
I was just crying. I cried for at least an
Mine
hour.
was screaming. This was mine because I was in the car, so I couldn't watch it. So I hooked my phone up to Bluetooth and I was listening to the commentary. So I'm driving right now. What the fuck do you mean? Kimi Antonelli's so cool. What the?
That's so valid too, though.
That was it. That was all that would come out of my mouth. Yes. So very, very exciting for Kimi. He then got his helmet stuck in his head somehow, but it's fine. Did anything else happen in SQ1 or 2? Because once again, couldn't watch it.
I don't think so.
Was Jack Doohan not mad about something?
Oh, Jack Doohan. No, wait, did he have a crash out this week? Was that sprint quali he had to crash out? I think it was.
Yeah, I think it was.
He was so angry because something about Pierre wasn't actually ready to go out. Basically, when they sent him out, it meant Jack couldn't get his final laps in because of the timings and stuff. Bro had a mega crash out on the radio. It was a mega. I was like, someone put some classical music over that because
I think it was SQ1 because I remember texting you being like, "What's going on with Jack?"
Yeah, I think he was like P. No, he was not last. But no, it was. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Okay. The Snapchats are gone, so I can't see.
Oh,
but I think it was. So we had a Jack doing crash out, not an actual crash, just a crash out. And yeah. But now we get into the interesting stuff, the nitty-gritties of the weekend, because we've got Kimi starting on pole. We got Oscar Piastri lined up right behind him. Then we had Lando Norris, and then we had Max Verstappen. So I already knew shit was going to hit the fan. And it did, kind of. It hit the fan on social media.
Oh, bro, Kimi versus Oscar was a madness.
Bro, so let's get one thing straight here before we even begin, okay? Oscar is not a babysitter. I have seen so many people livid at Oscar for overtaking Kimi. Was it a little bit aggressive? Yes. Was he very, very close to him? Yes. Was he on the driving line? Yes.
Yeah, I don't know what they wanted Oscar to do at that point.
They wanted Oscar to stay in second and let Kimi win the sprint. Guys, no harm. If Oscar wasn't going to get him, Lando or Max was. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Let's be so for real right now. But it's fine. Kimi, I think you did brilliantly. Like, imagine you're lining up. It's only your 6th Formula One race in your life. You're lining up on this grid, and you look in your rear view, and you got the 2 McLarens and the Red Bull behind you.
Bro, I'd be out of there.
I'd be crying before it even started.
You guys go. You guys go.
You guys go ahead. I don't want to be an inconvenience. I'll be
Literally.
But yes, I think Kimi did very well. I think he held it in what, 5th or 6th? I actually genuinely don't remember.
No, because he finished quite back because of
he did finish quite backward. I just remembered
but
that.
then everyone got penalties after. So
Antonelli finished in 7th.
He didn't finish on the road in 7th though. I think he finished.
No, he didn't.
I think he finished 11th.
Sprint results, Lance Stroll in 5th. How did I miss that?
Because everyone got penalties after.
I know, but like still.
Bro, Lance Stroll, bro, I don't know what you're cooking this year, but
Lance
one
Stroll
day you're
Golden's
so
era?
good. One day you guys are so good, and the next day you're both last. So I don't know what's going on there.
Lance Stroll is still in the top 10 for points. Let's just say this.
Where did he finish originally? Finished like 7th, didn't he?
I have no idea. I don't really keep tabs on Lance Stroll.
Where's Brooke when we need her?
This is true. Brooke does. Oh yeah, we didn't even mention Brooke not being here. Brooke's not here. Brooke's just graduated college, so she's spending time with her family and celebrating her years of hard work. So big slide Brooke.
Fact.
Lol. But yes, so the sprint we had, Oscar immediately got the overtake on Kimi into turn 1. Like, he was gone.
Brilliant.
Then we sort of thought, like, we all saw that coming, but fair play. Kimi, you tried. But then, Kimi, booby-doop, he pushed me off. To which my immediate response was just, did he?
So you're trying the exact same move that Max Verstappen tried on Oscar last week.
Did he? He was tight to you, but he didn't push you off. You looked in your little mirror and you went,
Yeah, he had room.
But that's okay. Once again, these guys are rookies. I think a lot of people are holding Kimi to a very, very high standard. He's a rookie. He's like, this is his time to make mistakes. And the fact that he's put it on pole in his first, 2 months of being in F1. Mind-blowing. Incredible. So good. So let's be a little bit nicer to our rookies. I understand, yes, they're in Formula One. They're at the pinnacle of their sport. There is a certain level of expectation there. But to have a go at Kimi, to be like, Oscar got past him literally into turn 1. I'm like, okay, Oscar's been on the grid for 3 years longer than him.
Yeah.
Let's chill. Let's chillax. That's like watching Max Verstappen overtake a rookie and going, oh my God, imagine getting overtaken by Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
Guys.
Leave Kimi alone.
Leave Kimmy alone. He's trying. He's trying his best.
Trying.
Which he then went out and proved with qualifying like later that day. Came out and he said, okay, bet, I'm going to do well in qualifying now. And he did. He was in third. Was he? Yes, third.
Yes.
So, Kimmy, you had a fantastic weekend. Don't listen to anyone else.
Yeah, because we also need to give him credit for the whole Max incident in the pit lane, because how bro did not, like, his reaction time.
Yeah.
So basically, Max was in the pits because it started. Did it start raining or stop raining? It stopped raining.
Yeah.
So the track was dry, so everyone was pitting for slicks. And Max was in his pit box. God knows what Red Bull are doing with their pits at the minute. They need help. And be so for real. I'm not even lying. They do. So then Max pulling out of the pit. So bear in mind, when Max is in the pit box, he can't see anything. He can just the guy who's telling him to go. And the guy who's telling him to go told him, get back on the track, as Kimi Antonelli was pulling in front of him, which took off Max's half of Max's front wing. And Kimi had to go back out and ruin his own race because
we also left out one very pinnacle thing as well with the sprint race. Charles Leclerc didn't take part.
Oh yeah, lol.
So if you weren't able to watch Miami this weekend, for the Saturday, the track was very, very wet. We ended up with a red flag before the sprint race had even begun because of how bad the weather was. Oscar actually came over the radio and said, like, this is the poorest visibility I've ever had in a race. And for those who have never been to Florida, see whenever those little tropical storms hit, they're horrendous. Like, you are drenched head to toe within seconds. So, I get it. But, yes, so Charles was on his way to the grid, and literally, there was nothing he could have done. It was straight up aquaplaning, had no control of the car, and just went across the barrier, sideways into the barrier, and skidded the whole way up it, and then had to DNF. Because of the damage sustained to the car.
DNF did not start.
Yeah, he didn't even start.
He DNF. He did.
That's cool. I like that. But yes, so we had that. We had the incident in the pit lane. Oh my god, I just said incident like a normal person.
Incident.
She did. What else did we have in the sprint? There was so much happened in like.
What happened to Carlos?
What?
What happened to Carlos? Because he DNF'd, I'm pretty sure, but I can't
remember.
Carlos
just had a little spinnerooski.
Oh yeah,
he had a little. I think it was coming into the chicane.
Yeah,
he had a little spinnerooski.
My favorite drama ever was back. Liam Lawson versus Fernando Alonso.
Liam beefing with Fernando, I just don't think will ever end.
Like, I was not expecting, but to be fair, I feel like this was one as well where it's like, did he deserve the penalty? Didn't he deserve the penalty? Because he was off the track. He had nowhere else to go. Like, none of the cars that were next to Liam gave him any room to join the track, and Liam had to get back on the track somewhere.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, took Fernando with him.
Yes, we did have that. Maybe Liam Lawson is just the steward's new victim.
Yeah.
But yes, he did hit Fernando, took off his front wing.
Put Fernando into the wall.
Which then caused, was it the safety car or a virtual safety car?
The safety car came out.
Safety car came out. Safety car came out right as Mr. Norris had pitted. So I then had a moment for like a split second where I was like, oh my god, he's not going to get out on time. He's not getting out of the pits on time. But he did, because Miami safety car and Lando Norris, they're best friends. They are absolute pookies. So Lando got out on time. Once again, when I said I wanted to relive Miami 2024, I did not mean that specifically. Like, I genuinely did not mean that, but I'll take it. So, yes, Lando got out in time with the safety car, finishing the sprint race in first, with Oscar in second, and could not tell you who came third.
Lewis
Came third. Oh, yeah, he did.
Because Lewis did an early pit stop that with the safety car.
Indeed. There was so much in that 30 seconds where it was like we had someone, I think it was, I can't even remember what it was. It was me just sitting watching it going, what am I witnessing?
No, to be fair. We had the pit lane, then we had Carlos.
Then we had Fernando. Then we had Lando and Oscar fighting each other, but there was debris on track from Carlos.
Yes, yeah.
And then we had the safety car right as Lando had pitted. I was like, guys! Give me a second to breathe!
It was a bit of a madness.
And then the race did sadly end under the safety car, but what can you do?
Yeah.
I was wondering, see, because it's a sprint, I was going to ask your opinion. Do you think I can highlight race ends under safety car on my bingo, or are we only counting it if it's a race?
I would highlight it. I mean, I highlighted teammate drama on mine with Lewis and Charles's.
But that was in the race. I'm going to highlight teammate drama on mine.
I think I highlighted something else, but I can't remember. I need to highlight a stage.
Because I also didn't know whether to highlight wet race or not.
Yeah, I didn't. But if we can count sprints.
I'm going to count it if it's a sprint.
It's
still a race. They still earn points.
Exactly.
Right. Anyway, sorry. Little ramble.
Anyway,
we then moved on to qualifying. Yay! Nothing happened. It was the most boring qualifying.
Bambi came last.
He did. But I kid you not, I was like sitting downstairs. I was yawning. I was like, what? Like,
yeah, it was quite not entertaining.
I know that normally Q1 and Q2 are quite boring. Don't really care who's lining up in the bottom 10. Unless it's one of my drivers, then I'm going to cry myself.
Oh, Lewis Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton was out in Q2.
Lewis Hamilton was out in Q2. I don't even remember what that was. Just didn't get good enough lap or didn't get out in time.
The Ferrari was cooked.
The Ferrari.
It showed when Charles put it P8, so realistically.
Yeah. And then Q1, once again, you're just sitting waiting to see who's going to be on pole. And the answer was Max Verstappen.
Are we shocked? Let's be so for real.
We're not shocked. Yeah.
I was shook when Kimi. Oh my god, my voice nearly went down.
My voice is vanished.
When Kimi was faster than Oscar. I wasn't expecting that.
Yes, I did. I was like, so we had Max come P1. We had Lando come P2. And then Kimi went and Oscar went, I think, before Kimi.
Yeah.
Oscar put it on P3. And then Kimi went and then just went boop ahead of Oscar. And we were all like, you know what? Fair play to you, Kimi. And then we remembered the sprint and we went, oh no.
Yeah. First time Oscar's qualified out the top 3 this season.
I will not confirm or deny that.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Because it was Australia, then he was on pole. Then where did we race off to China? Japan.
I don't know how you remember all this. See, to me, once the race is done, it all mashes into one in my brain. They're not individual races anymore. It's like, oh yeah, Lando won like one of them.
then he was on pole in Bahrain, and then he was like P2 in Jeddah.
This is why Beth's the brains of the operation, bro.
And when Kimi remembers his own lap time.
Yeah, I see everything. To me, it just mashes into one. People are like, oh, who won the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix? And I'm like, Oscar?
But then, obviously, was it Q2 Oscar set the lap record? Did Oscar set it, or did Max beat him in Q3?
This week.
Yeah, I'm sure they had a new track record. I'm going to have a look.
I will continue to yap about Beth as a look. So, yes, we had that. We also had some post-quali interviews with Kimi referring to Oscar Piastri as his best friend very sarcastically, might I add, and also saying he has full permission from Toto Wolff to put Oscar Piastri in a wall.
Who has the fastest lap in Miami?
So this caused, once again, a little bit of controversy. I'm going to put it down to Kimi was telling a joke. He was having a little giggle and a laugh about the situation.
Yeah.
But once again, when Max did this with George, y'all kicked off. Y'all kicked off with, I can't believe he's making jokes about putting people in walls. That's not funny.
Yeah.
But anyway, let's just hold every driver accountable equally, I think. Because, like, once again, people pick and choose. Very quickly they pick and choose.
Yeah.
Where, you know, Max could say one thing and he's getting praised for it. Lando could say the exact same thing and he's getting, like, punched in the face for it. Now, I will admit, there are many, many things that Lando says that I'm kind of like, ooh, let's not say that. But it's also well known that he wears his heart on his sleeve. If he's got something to say, he's going to say it.
Yeah.
But people just kick off at him for no reason nowadays. We had a couple of snarky responses with the Miami post-race interviews with Lando.
I love it, though. I loved it.
And I'm kind of like, sassy. Like, sure. Let's be a little bit... Let's calm down just a little. Like, I agree with everything that Lando said. The cutting off of the interviewer, though, I think is just a little bit rude.
The only one I do agree when he cut her off, when she was like, yeah, but Oscar passed Max. He was like, yeah, we both passed Max.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. If it's a stupid statement from the interviewer, I get it.
Yeah.
And I know fine rightly, in terms of journalism and media and this, that, and the other, they're always fishing for a headline. They are always looking for something that they're going to take out of context and spin it to make it seem like Lando's absolutely slating Oscar or Max.
Yeah.
And I know, because they do it to all the drivers. They've done it to Oscar, they've done it to Max, they've done it to Lewis, they've done it to all of them. But Lando doesn't give them the time of day to do that. And he's done that before in a post-race interview. I think it was last year he did it. Where he was like, you're fishing for that little headline there, and I'm not going to give it to you. But I don't agree with when they're just asking their general questions. I don't agree with cutting them off. Yeah. When he did like they were asking about Max in turn 1, and he was like, oh, you mean I would have ended up in a wall? Very hard. I was kind of like, whoa, let's calm down on that statement. I agree with what you're saying, but let's calm down on that statement. Yeah. Wild. But once again, everyone's like, he's an asshole. He's a dickhead. Like, no, he's not. And I think, once again, people also forget they quite literally pluck these drivers from their cars and shove them into the media pen. So tensions are still so high. Tensions are still very, 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 very high. And people often say things they don't mean. Yeah. For example, we have had Max saying things that he shouldn't have said. We have had Lewis saying things that he shouldn't have said. We have had Oscar saying things that he shouldn't have said. Okay? It happens. We breathe, we move, we don't send death threats. The end.
Anyway, it was race day then.
Race day? No, were you not getting up some statistic?
Oh no, I couldn't find it.
Oh, okay. We've given up on that then.
Yeah,
we moved on to Sunday, and I have to admit, I miss the early races. See this waiting to 9 p.m. Bro, I was just like, I have nothing to do with my day. I have nothing to do with life. And then my friends were messaging me being like, oh, do you want to go out and do this? And I'm like, I can't, it's race day. And they're like, what time's the race at? And I'm like, 9 p.m. And they're like, oh, well, we won't be out to 9 p.m. And I was like, no, I don't think you understand.
Yeah, race day is race day.
I physically cannot exit my household until the race is over.
Race day.
Race day is always the priority, because what if we do go out, and what if we do stay out until 8:30, and then what if we get stuck in traffic on the way home, and then what if I miss the race start?
God, I wish I missed it.
It's so fair, actually. I can't see fly.
It's just hilarious. Let me find a picture.
So let's get into it. We had 5 lights out and away we go. And we had Max had a fantastic start.
This was me. This is me during the race start.
Yeah, Beth
when the incident happened. That was I generally just on the floor.
We had Max with a phenomenal start.
Yeah.
Brilliant start. Like, they had barely even made it past the line before I was like, oh, Max got a better start. Like, it was a good start. Lando managed to hold it quite close to him in second.
Nearly went into the back of him when he locked up.
Nearly went into the back of him. And then we hit turn 1. And it
was turn 2.
Sorry, we hit turn 2.
Turn 1, he locked up and nearly freaking, he did like
Max locked up. Lando went off. Oscar just went, thank you, and made his way through. And Lando ended up in 6th.
I still low-key can't believe Max didn't get a penalty for it. Like, I understand the rules, and it's
never... She didn't.
But like, what my argument on the fact is, it's not the fact of the move that Max did, because that's a Max specialty. That's why he does it every week. Like, we've known this for the past like forever. It was the fact that when Max did it, he was trying to pull the move. He didn't have control of the back of the car, because that's why Lando had to go off, because Max, he went off into turn 1 because he locked up, came back onto track, and then when they went into turn 2, the car was not like stable. If you watch the onboards, you'll know what I mean.
Yeah, I don't watch the onboards though.
I watched it back, and the car is not in his control, realistically. So he went for the move, and the car kind of slid, which is why Lando ended up off the track. So realistically, should he have probably gotten a penalty for it? I kind of want to say yeah.
Well, I've seen debates happening online where like people are saying that just one of these days, Lando just needs to let the hit happen.
Yeah.
Because he's constantly, now, whether I don't fully agree with it, but I can see where they're coming from. Lando constantly dives out of the way. Whenever something happens and it's going to cause a collision, Lando dives out of the way, even if he's not at fault.
Yep.
Whereas if he lets the collision happen, it makes it more evident that there is an ongoing issue here.
You know what, though? I don't think it will be Lando to let the collision happen. It will be someone like Kimi or Oscar.
Yeah,
because
like
the difference is, I think I don't know if I spoke about this to you or someone else. The difference between Lando and Max racing and what I think we'll find with like Kimi and Max and Oscar and Max, Lando knows when to back out. Lando knows that, if I keep going, I'm going to go into the wall. Oscar is very different. Oscar will go for stuff. We've seen Oscar, the move on Charles in Baku was incredible. Was it risky? Absolutely. And I think one of these days Max is gonna try and pull this on Oscar. And Oscar's gonna be like, no. I don't think it's gonna be in the wall. I don't think it'll be
back up first.
Yeah, I think it'll be someone like Oscar. What?
It's like a game of chicken. Like who's gonna be the first to move.
But I do think that incident was a very much out of all the incidents that everyone's argued shouldn't it be a penalty, very much a 50-50 split on this one. Because the rules say one thing and that, but also at the same time, was he in control of the car properly?
This is the thing though, like Max knows those rules cover to cover and he uses that to his advantage. Like he knows he could probably recite the rule book. And he uses that to his advantage. He knows what he can and can't get away with. He knows how to test those boundaries.
Yeah.
And I think, once again, that's what comes with an experienced driver, a championship winner, this, that, and the other. Like, you learn to use the rules to your advantage rather than keeping you in a box. And I think Max does that brilliantly. Is there times where he pushes it too far and gets away with it? Yes. But once again, I would have put this down to just a first lap incident. Like, I was expecting it to go to investigation as it did. I wasn't
Yeah.
expecting a penalty. I wasn't sitting going, oh, no, like that was wrong, that was wrong, that
Yeah.
was wrong. I was more so just screaming, going, no, I know.
Yeah, just something.
But I think there was just such a cluster happening at one time.
Yeah.
Somebody was going to get shafted, and it just so happened to be Lando.
But
It's the way I watched it.
He pulled it back. He slayed it.
He pulled it back. He said, nuh-uh, you ain't going to defeat me. It's a long race, and the race ain't over till the check flag.
Exactly. The race is over on lap 50, if you ask Will Joseph, but game's the game.
Bro, Will? Right, we'll get into Will in a little bit. We got on to racing. It is what it is. We had a little bit of a battle between Oscar and Max, which was so entertaining to watch. So entertaining. Like, I don't think I've actually been that, like, tense in a while watching a race happening back and forth. Oscar got past him. Slay. And then by this point, because Oscar had pulled a decent gap.
Yeah.
By this point, Lando had caught up again. He'd made his way through the pack. And he said...
I don't know. Oh, sorry.
No, you go.
You keep going.
Okay. Lando had made his way back from 6th to 3rd at this point. He's Max is at this point, he was defensive driving. He was keeping Oscar behind him, which then gave Lando the chance to catch up. So by the time Oscar got past Max, Lando was just like, surprise, motherfucker. I'm back. Shh. I'm here. And then we had a little battle between Max and Lando. And at this point, Oscar's 8 seconds down the road. He's like, bye! Bye!
I was just watching it on the, the F1 TV timings, because I have that up, like... Because Sky is always, like, a minute behind, and I don't know why. And I remember just looking, and I saw Max and Oscar, and then they swapped, and all of a sudden Lando was already in Max's DRS, and I was like, how has he done this?
Yeah.
Like,
he's appeared.
But
could you imagine, like, Max is just defend, right, Oscar got past me, anyway, we'll try to catch Oscar, never mind, Lando's here now.
Again, though, I do want to also say, again, this might be a hot take. If you look at the way that Max races Oscar versus the way Max races Lando, it's two very different styles. And I'm just going to say that.
We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Lando, big up Lando, because he did overtake off the track and he gave the position back without being asked to. Will didn't tell him to.
Yeah.
He did it off his own back. But he did it smart. He did it at a point where if he lets Max pass now,
he's straight back to
the RS.
He was like, yeah, because my parents were actually really confused with that, because my parents had, like, just started getting into F1 a little bit more and watching it with me. And my dad was just like, oh, of course Max got past him again. And I was like, no, he gave him that position. And he was like, why would an F1 driver give up their position to the opposition? And I was like, because he overtook off track. And he was like, did he? And I was like, yeah, but Sky Sports was too busy showing, like, a lap 15 replay that you didn't actually see the overtake happen. Like, I genuinely, until the replay happened, I did not realize it was off track. I just clocked it because I was like, Lando had dropped back and let Max pass. And I was like, oh, it must have been an off track overtake then. But Sky Sports were too busy showing a lap 15 replay. And at this point, we're on, like, lap 19. And I was like, right, I don't care anymore. You've waited too long to show the replay. See, if you're not showing the replay within 2 laps, you've waited too long. I don't care anymore. It's gone. Unless it's really boring. But if they actually have to put a little symbol on to tell me what lap the replay is coming from, you've waited too long. You've waited too long, Sky Sports. Do it faster next time. Really annoys me. Like, there was once that I was, like, watching something and it was like, it came up as a Lando replay. And I was like, oh my God, what's happened to Lando? And then I looked at it and it was like, lap 30. But at this point, we were on lap like 42 of the race. And I was like, why are you showing me Lando track limits 12 laps ago?
Just so that you know.
Do I look like I care? But anyway, Sky sorted out. So yeah, I didn't actually see the overtake off track because Sky Sports. But yes, Lando handed the position back very graciously. He was then on the DRS straight and just went and got past him quite swiftly and was then able to start closing the gap to Oscar, which he didn't do, but he tried.
Do you know what? Again, people might disagree. I think he did great because he came out, they double stacked him into the pit. Well done, McLaren. Loved to see. He came back out, I think he was 8 seconds, and then it went to 10 because that was the virtual safety car on lap 40 something. But by the end, he was only like I think he finished on the road 4 something seconds, but he got the gap down to like 3 before Will Joseph told him that he's not going to have enough time to catch him, so there was no point.
Yeah, so Lando basically came over the radio to Will and was like, do we have enough time to catch him? And Will was like, nah, I don't think so. And he was like, that's not very positive, Will.
It's just fair to drop back and not.
So he dropped back a little bit. Can we also talk about our 4 DNFs?
Bro, they were out for the rookies this track. This track did not like them.
They took all the rookies besides
Kimi and Isaac.
Besides 2. 2 survived. So we had Jack Doohan.
Had an incident with Liam Lawson.
Which was a puncture.
So he had a puncture on lap 1, and I assume some other damage because I'm pretty sure him and Liam had a little kerfuffle, which is what led to Liam retiring.
Yeah. We had Ollie Behrman with a hydraulics issue.
A PU issue.
And we had Gabriel Bortoleto
with an engine issue.
So all the rookies, like, there was nothing like major where it was like, oh, they've like bashed into a barrier here and they're out.
Yeah.
No, it's just their car decided to give up. Their car said
Liam and Jack will go for a 1v1.
Oh yeah. We also had the Ferraris versus each other.
Should have had a tea break.
Do you want me to let him through too?
That was so funny.
Wow. It was sass after sass from Mr. Hamilton.
Fair play though.
Oh, it was so fair. So basically what had happened was Lewis was behind Charles, and because of dirty air and this, that, and the other, his tyres were...
Yeah, they were on different tyre strategies as well. So at this point, Charles was on the hard, Lewis was on... Yeah, Charles was on new hard, Lewis was on new mediums.
Yeah. So Lewis's tyres were just getting worse and worse and worse. So he came over and was like, can I get past Charles? Like, I think I can catch Antonelli. So they were classic Ferrari. We are checking. So I had to wait for a little bit. Then eventually the switch happened. Team orders, switched them. Then Lewis wasn't able to catch Antonelli and pretty much sat in the same sort of area that Charles was in.
So then Charles
is straight back on the radio with, well, no, I'm like stuck behind him and now my race is getting ruined and So they let Lewis try catch Antonelli for a little while. Couldn't do it. So they called team orders again, switched them back. Then they came over to tell Lewis, like, Sainz is like 1.8 behind or something. I can't remember how far behind he was. And he was just like, do you want me to let him pass as well? I was like, he mad. He mad.
Do you know there was Williams drama as well that didn't get played?
What?
So obviously Alex cooked P5, which...
He did.
But apparently during the race, there was the point where they were next to each other. And it was like Alex and Carlos. And apparently Carlos was told that Alex would keep Carlos in his DRS to like, like they did in Jeddah.
Yeah.
That's what they wanted to redo. And apparently Alex just didn't listen and just carried on. So
I respect it.
they've been on to Carlos being like, yeah, he's going to keep you in his DRS. You're going to be fine. And then Alex just vanished
Carlos coming 9th, like.
after beefing Lewis on that last lap.
Oh yeah, what was that? The race was over. Not for them, but the race was over. Oscar had crossed the line.
Lando
and
across the
Carlos
line.
was just like into the side of Lewis.
Yeah, they were going ahead.
That was mental. That one was wild.
Yeah.
But yes, the race came to an end. Lots of drama, lots of DNFs, lots of virtual safety cars. But we had Mr. Oscar Piastri on the top step. Lando Norris finishing 4.63 seconds behind him. And the most impressive one, George Russell in third, finishing 37.6 seconds behind Lando. So he's finishing, what, 40? No, behind Oscar.
Yeah, he finished 37 seconds behind Oscar.
So he's 37 seconds behind Oscar.
That's a madness.
To which everyone's now going, the McLarens are illegal.
I also find it really funny that Alex Albon, during the sprint or during one of the qualifying sessions, Alex was like, that Mercedes is illegal. And then finished everything.
Yeah. Oh, we also forgot funnier moments of the week. We'll go on to our funnier moments now that the race is over. We had Zach Brown during FP1 having a little giggle with his tyre water because Red Bull accused McLaren of putting water in their tyres to cool them down. So Zach Brown had a lovely water bottle like this with stickers the whole way around it saying tyre water, which I thought was
Very so unserious. So unserious.
I love it. I love the vibes. We had a little argument in the paddock between Christian and Toto.
Yes.
Because Christian had appealed George Russell not getting a time penalty because apparently he didn't lift under the yellow flags, even though he did.
Yeah.
Whatever. And the highlight of the freaking weekend, the driver's parade. Normally something so boring that people don't particularly watch that often because it's just the same old interview questions that we hear every week. How are you planning on making it into turn one in first?
Yeah.
Drive.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Miami said we're going to be different, we're going to be better, and they put them in life-sized Lego cars that actually drove. And can I just say, they were all given a warning of like, these cars are 400,000 bricks. They took 26 days to build.
Be careful.
Be careful. The boys did not hear be careful. They heard go-karts. Let's hit each other again.
Oh my God. It's that one thing of like the Mercedes binning the Williams into the wall.
Bro, George chose violence.
No, did you see that kit? They were driving it together.
Yeah, Kimmy leaned over.
Kimmy leaning over to drive it. With Ollie and Esteban who missed the start and are halfway down the road just having the time of their life.
Oh yeah. But Esty Bestie was behind Ollie going, you need to catch up. We had, I think Lando rear-ended the Mercedes.
Yeah.
Which was then hilarious because he then started driving like this because he was
Oscar's in the back
laughing.
Oscar's in the back with his hands up like, what is going on? Lando's like not looking.
We had Max hitting the back of the McLarens before the race even started. We had
Lando tried to put the Ferrari into the wall at turn one.
Yeah. George just tried to take everyone out. Mans just took a diagonal across the track.
They squished the Alpine.
Someone lost part of the front wing.
Where they all lost part of the front wing.
Someone lost a big chunk though. There was a video that one of the marshals posted on TikTok and he picked it up and it was like the size of his torso.
That's a madness.
I think that was actually Lando hit the front wing off. Because that was when you actually like heard the audible crunch.
It's the video. I think Mercedes posted a video, and it's like it's from in the car, but all you can hear is Lando's laugh.
Yeah, you can just see it. It was so good. It was, and then like you can hear it in the actual driver's parade whenever George cut across and hit someone. you can hear Lando going, George!
So funny.
Hilarious. I think that is the best driver's parade I've ever seen. Once again, it has received mixed reviews. We've had people saying they love it. The drivers loved it. They've all been like, I hope this is our driver's parade every week. We had George saying it was the highlight of the entire weekend for him. But then we have people on social media being like, what does the sport come to? And I'm like, heaven forbid we let the drivers have a bit of fun.
Yeah.
Let the drivers have a little giggle and a laugh, because it's not like they were doing that in the actual race. They're just having a bit of fun. You hand boys some Lego, they're going to have a great time. Like,
me too.
Let's go back to when they did, I think it was at the start of 2024 or halfway through 2024. They did the reuniting of the 2019 rookies and took them karting.
Yeah.
Where we had Lando cheating by cutting half the track. We had Alex cheating by going through the sand.
Yeah.
Like, let them have fun, because that's a great video and it's hilarious. And it's just, you put 20 competitive athletes in these remote control life-size Lego car and they've said, go. Of course there's going to be chaos.
Yeah.
Hilarious. So funny. It was them coming down the hill, like, they're like, yeah!
No, my favourite was the video when they've gone in. I think Red Bull posted it of Yuki going, you've got a baby now. Drive like I'm your baby.
Yes, drive like I'm your baby. We had Nico falling on top of Gabriel.
Squishy Gabriel. Gabriel was gone.
Body slammed. Whenever the Mercedes got stuck in the wall, who was it with?
Williams.
With the Williams. Kimi Antonelli jumped out of the car and ran the rest of the driver's parade.
I can't.
Incredible. I want every driver's parade to be something as chaotic as that, because it was brilliant. It was entertaining. It certainly got me pre-race hype.
Ooh.
I was ready for it. But it is now time to wrap up the podcast. That was the end of our very chaotic week. Miami always brings good vibes. We love Miami. We don't love the fake influencers in Miami. Did you see the video of one of the influencers like flashing the crowd?
No.
Yeah, wild. Someone posted like a video being like, to think they got invited for free, and they were like doing that trend where you like turn around. Do you know whenever you're like at the top of a mountain and you like lift your top up at the top of a mountain? Like that trend. They were doing that, but they did it at the Miami Grand Prix.
That's a madness.
I don't know who it was. Apparently it was some girl who was on The Bachelor.
Right.
But I've never watched The Bachelor in my life, so I don't know if that's true. But yeah, I watched that video and I was like, what a wild thing to do at a race.
Yeah, that's a madness, to be fair.
Anyway, we move. It is time for our meme of the week, and we don't have any race predictions this week because we don't have any race next week. Also, I wasn't too far off. I was actually raging. I was raging that Max didn't get past George, because I said Lando Oscar George, Lando Oscar Max.
Oh, I see me and Brooke had oh no. I think Brooke got the best this week.
Yeah, Brooke always gets the best. She's bad.
I had faith in Ferrari, I think.
I had faith in Max, but
I should know never to trust Ferrari. I thought they were going to be on a high after that podium last time, but you know what? They won.
But anyway, memes of the week. Speaking of Ferrari and not having any hopes for them.
Wait, I haven't got the same one, but be so for real.
I feel like Ferrari were the highlight of the drama this weekend.
No, they actually were.
It was fantastic. But yes, also my bingo card's coming along quite nicely. I've been able to...
My iPad's dead, so I can't show you, lol.
I've been able to highlight off Oscar's wins, because I predicted 3 Oscar wins, which I feel like I should have gone for 5.
Yeah,
because I went for 5 for Lando, and I went for 3 for Oscar.
Maybe should have done it the other way.
And I'm regretting my choices. Do you think I can highlight race ends under safety car?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, should we highlight race ends under safety car? Because the sprint did. Hold on. It's not letting me. It's not being my friend.
You're banned.
Canva,
Oh,
can you do as you're told, please?
no.
Okay. We've highlighted race ends under safety car. Trying to work out what else I can highlight. I need to highlight wet race. Only one of my little teardrops need to be highlighted though. Boop. And I fear like some of these are never going to get highlighted.
Oh, I could have did Max pushes Lando off the track. Or Max takes Lando off the track. Whatever it's written as.
Are we counting the Ferrari drama as teammate drama?
I've highlighted it.
Okay, I'll highlight it.
They were drama-ing.
Although I am scared because I do have Alpine double points and Sauber double points, so I was a bit bold with that one. It'll be fine. Anyway, guys, it is time to wrap this up. But we hope you enjoyed, and we will be back next week where I genuinely don't even know what we'll be doing because there'll be no race to talk about. So we'll just be discussing little bits of drama, little bits that have popped up, social media stuff.
We filming on Monday next week.
What?
Are we filming on Monday next week? That's we're filming on Monday because guess where I'll be next Monday? I'll be at Silverstone.
Oh yeah! That's gonna be at Silverstone. So excited.
I gotta remember to take my iPad with me.
Yeah, you do.
Otherwise, we're not getting anything done. How am I gonna watch Sidemen Among Us if I don't take my
Incredible. Okay, we will see you guys next week where I don't know if Brooke will be with us or not. Brooke, if you're watching this, please respond to my messages. Anyway, guys, thank you.
We don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up.